Hey everyone,
I'm Rachel.
I'm Joe, and welcome to Mickey and Minnie's Keys to the Kingdom.
Today we're going to be reviewing Toy Story 4. So we were able to see the movie about a week early thanks to D23. They had a preview screening, which we actually were able to go and see.
That was really cool.
Yeah. So one of the perks of being a D23 member. But we just thought we would give a non-spoiler review for you guys, so you know kind of what to expect when you go to see the movie. So, what was your overall thoughts of the movie?
My overall thoughts of the movie were really positive. I loved everything about it. There was maybe one or two things that I wasn't really a fan of, but I got over it. I liked it a lot.
I really loved the story arc. Just the flow of the movie. I could have watched it for another 2 hours. And the fact that they fit that much content into an hour and a half was beyond shocking to me. I could have watched even more of it. It was so good.
Okay, cool. So, do you think 3 and 4 play really well together?
Yeah, so in the beginning of the movie, they do this transition scene between 3 and 4. And the movies don't skip a beat. They literally go from one to the other. And it kind of wraps up really Andy's story and begins Bonnie's story really well. And so I think the two movies go great hand in hand together. So make sure to watch at least Toy Story 3 before you go see the movie.
Yeah, I have to agree with you.
So this way you kind of remember what's going on in the story.
Yeah. So you like the plot?
I loved the plot. I think the villains were phenomenal in it. Gabby and the ventriloquy dolls.
Yeah, they're so creepy.
They're so creepy, but at the end of the story, or at the end of the movie, you really come to feel for Gabby and her story. And just like all the other Toy Story villains in all the other movies.
They're not really villains, they're misunderstood.
Yes, exactly. And so I really enjoyed that. And I loved the whole idea of
the lost toys.
Yes.
That was really cool.
And how we were saying after we saw it how I really liked how it was. This movie was a lot more adult.
Yeah, it was more for like our age than the kids because they were catering to who grew up on it.
Yeah. So it was, there was a lot of adult humor in it, which what we really liked about it. But it was definitely more of an adult movie, especially with some of the topics that they were using in the movie. So.
Yeah. How'd you like the visuals in the movie?
Overall, I thought they were really good. You could see a increased difference in the quality. Yeah, that I really enjoyed. But you didn't miss a beat between 3 and 4. I think the movies still look really authentic, and like they truly are their own movies.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there. The technology, I personally could see the difference more. The plastics look more like plastic. The lighting's insane. There's just one scene I'm not going to tell you guys now. I'll tell you in the spoiler review of it. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Just everything about it looked beautiful.
You really feel like it's in your world.
Yeah.
And I think that's because the movie franchise as a whole is so relatable that I really got sucked into the movie and sucked into the world that they were in and didn't even notice that it was like an animated movie.
Just Pixar's animating in general now is getting so ridiculous that it's blurring the lines.
Yeah, which is pretty cool.
It's a positive.
Yeah.
So here was something that people were very hesitant about. Forky, how did they work him in and all that stuff?
I think Forky is my favorite new character that we have. He is hilarious. He delivers a lot of the jokes in the movie, which stuck to me. They were so funny, and the way that they kind of introduce him really flowed to me. And the whole idea of him being this not typical toy is so real to today's like kids.
And sort of having a crisis of his own.
Yeah. He was having a crisis of his identity crisis, and like, you know, he's not your traditional toy. So he struggled with, how the hell am I a toy? Like, I don't understand. But I really liked how they incorporated Forky into this world of your stereotyped toys. And I think it really it hit home for me because, you know, you would get a stick, and that stick would be your sword and your lightsaber and your wand, and that one stick was so many things. And in this case, Forky to Bonnie is so many things.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed Forky as a whole.
It was really cool having Forky in there because it helped Woody figure out who he was, and they played off each other very well.
Yes, extremely well.
Woody was one extreme, and then Forky was the total other extreme, and they were both showing each other, really opening each other's eyes to what it means to be a toy.
Yeah. And it brought me back, their relationship brought me back to Woody and Buzz's relationship in the first movie.
Yeah.
Because it's the same kind of idea.
Yeah.
Woody is having to guide Forky through this movie, just like Woody was having to guide Buzz through the movie and what it means to be a toy. At the end of the day, you're there for your child.
Yeah.
And so I really enjoyed Forky.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
So there were two comedians in this one, Key and Peele. They were Ducky and
Bunny.
The bunny.
Yeah.
How did you like them?
They were underwhelming. I feel like, personally, they got lost in translation, I feel. They didn't deliver the best jokes to me. They were just kind of there for the ride. But that's just my personal opinion of it.
I have to fully disagree with you.
Yeah, knew you would.
I 110% disagree with her. I think they were hilarious. They weren't supposed to be the main thing of comedy. They were just supposed to give you the laughs here and there. I thought the way they used them sparingly, were hilarious. I can't give you exactly what they did that made it funny. It was kind of like a running joke through the whole movie.
Make sure to stay to the end of the credits. So like the first set of credits, because there's little clips in the credits that you'll want to see. They're just really funny to see.
It closes up the whole story.
Yeah. So make sure to sit through at least the first batch of credits.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So to get back to the main story.
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves played Duke Kaboom. What did you think of him?
Duke Kaboom was funny. I liked his little story arc as well, and you really feel for him when he's telling a story. I thought he was just another character.
Okay.
He didn't have a lot of comedy in the movie. He played a good role for what the movie needed, but I feel he was, again, just an underwhelming character. But I enjoyed his presence.
So I'm going to disagree with you again. This movie more to me it's Woody's story. So all the other characters that are surrounding him, it's to help make
Woody's story a reality.
Woody's story more of a reality and make it stronger.
I felt like Duke Kaboom was really part of Bo Peep's story.
Yeah.
Like he's there kind of because Bo Peep is. Like Bo Peep has her own little posse in the movie, and he's part of that posse.
Okay.
And so I felt that he helped push the story along when it was needed.
Yeah.
But I don't think he played that well off of Woody or any of the existing characters.
Okay. But in general, I thought Keanu Reeves did a good job with him.
Yes.
I would be okay seeing like another movie with Duke Kaboom and some other people. I don't want to give anything away, but some of the other people. But yeah.
And then also Gabby Gabby.
Gabby.
She's such a good villain, and
But she's misunderstood. Remember?
Yes. No, I know, but like I really feel for her, and I think that's one thing that the Toy Story franchise does really well, and really Pixar as a whole.
Yeah.
Their villains are relatable, just kind of like how Thanos was in Infinity War. Like you understood his idea and why he was doing it, even though you just were so mad at him. Gabby, I was mad at her, but I felt for her. Yeah. I understood, and by seeing all three of the movies, like 1, 2, and 3, before we went and saw 4, I felt a really strong connection to it because her story is similar to some of the other characters' stories,
right?
And especially 1. So it was nice to see a not so scary villain.
Right. All right. So, how did you like how they used all the supporting characters in the movie?
I thought that
like our original characters.
I thought the original characters were there when they were needed, but it really was Woody's story. And that those characters includes Bonnie. She's a driving force in the movie, but she's not a main character by any means. She's really just there to support Woody in this storyline. And so I did miss Buzz's presence and Jesse's presence, but I
it's
found
Woody's story.
It was they were replaced with other characters like Forky and Bunny and Ducky, thank you. So I don't know, I would love to see more of their story. I love the original cast.
I agree that it's the original cast.
Yeah,
you can't.
Especially because they added in new characters when they combined Bonnie and Andy's toys. So I would have loved to got to know Bonnie's original toys more.
Yeah.
But it's Woody's story. So I enjoyed the little world that they had.
Yeah, I liked how they used them sparingly. I was very happy that it was Woody's story.
They really do a good job of explaining where Bo Peep went between movies like 2 and 4. You kind of get a little summary of what happened to her.
Yes.
And I feel like that summary was really important. And
it was really smart how they explained that from 3 where they weren't like, where's Bo Peep? It was more so
they knew where Bo Peep was. They knew where Bo Peep
was and they were okay with it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I really enjoyed that, and I loved that side of the toy world where she wound up, because in the place where she winds up, there are tons of other toys.
Yeah.
That I'm sure have similar stories. So it was cool to see her story and really again feel that connection between Woody and Bo Peep. It was like heartfelt.
Yeah.
Their relationship was really heartfelt to me, and I could feel it in the two of them.
Especially in the first 2 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
In that first 2 minutes, you forget how emotionally invested they were in each other, and with what happens, you're like, oh man.
And I felt I really forgot how invested I was in the franchise until the movie started.
Yeah.
And immediately those emotions came back.
Toy Story's always been good with playing with your emotional strings. I mean,
yeah. And this movie is no exception, by the way.
Toy Story 2 with that whole scene with Jessie.
Yeah.
Toy Story 3, that whole
the ending.
The whole last half hour.
Oh my god, the emotional roller coaster.
Oh.
And this movie is
this one is
different.
100 times more of a roller coaster.
In
the sense of, you're happy 1 second, you're sad the next minute, you're happy again, then you're sad again. It's in a good way too. It's not that it's in a bad way. And
I don't think it's overdone. I think if you're invested in the franchise, it's perfect. But if you're not invested in the franchise and you're just seeing this movie because you've heard good reviews, then go see it. You don't need that full-on backstory.
The full-on backstory gives you so much more emotional investment into it, though.
Oh my god. The movie had me crying and then laughing and crying and then laughing and then crying because I was so happy and then crying because I was so sad. And then
you were happy again, too.
Yeah. And then they would throw a joke in there and then everyone would laugh. And then everyone was back to crying again. And so it was really cool.
that was one of my complaints, though. I love Toy Story. This one was a lot more humorous, and I'm okay with that. But sometimes when you're in a full theater and everyone's laughing, you'll miss something. We
went and saw it for the preview screening. It was for press, and they invited a bunch of we assumed classes, elementary school classes full of kids to see it, which was cool, except for the fact that we had an auditorium full of kids. And
it is a kids movie.
It is a kids movie, yeah. I mean, I'm complaining about kids seeing a kids movie, but there was a couple parts where a character would say something and a kid would respond back in the theater.
I think that's adorable.
It's cute, but then everyone laughs, and then you miss lines. Or the kids are hysterically laughing and you miss things. So I know that was a couple other reviews we've heard. That's been a big complaint so far about the movie. Is it's so funny that you miss things. So just laugh and then be quiet. Don't drag on the laughter.
All right. So from Toy Story 1 to Toy Story 4, if you had to rank them from 1 to 4, starting with the worst to the best one, which one would you go?
So I would have to go Toy Story 2. no shade to that movie, but I felt out of all the other ones, it's just not as emotionally stirred as the other ones are. Then Toy Story 1, because it's just a phenomenal movie.
Right.
Then Toy Story 4, and then Toy Story 3. I felt 3 did a really good job of wrapping up storylines, and I wish that every movie would take notes from this one, from 3, because it's just, it ties up Andy's loose ends so well, and then 4 brings you into the next story, and so 4 was really good, but 3 just has a special place in my heart, and I have to give it the number 1 spot.
Okay. So for me, it was Toy Story 2. I like Toy Story 2 and all. Just something didn't click 110% with me. Toy Story 1, because it's the original, and just love everything about that one. Then Toy Story 3, I loved it. Only reason it's not at 1 is because it got me too emotional, and I can't watch. I'll be honest, I can't really watch that whole ending. It just...
It's heartbreaking.
It tears me a new one every time.
Oh my god, yeah.
And then Toy Story 4, I thought it was perfect in every way. It wasn't too sad. It wasn't too
happy and
cheerful. It was like the perfect amount. I genuinely think this movie was, in all honesty, the perfect Toy Story so far. I hope they make another one. We'll see what they do. If they don't, I mean,
it wrapped up pretty well. But
it was a pretty perfect franchise. I mean,
yeah.
Toy Story 1 I think had 100% on Rotten Tomato. Yep. Toy Story 2 had 100%. Stupidly, Toy Story 3 only has a 98. Which
is so stupid.
I genuinely think that deserves 100%. Like, I think they only made it 98 just for the fact that, you know,
they already had 2 100s.
They already had 2 100s, and
this is based on Rotten Tomato scores, by the way.
This is based on Rotten Tomato. And then Toy Story 4 as of right now has 100%.
And I think it's going to stay at 100%.
I think it'll stay at 100%. It deserves it for every reason. All right.
Make sure you bring tissues to this movie, too.
Yeah, bring tissues.
And even if you're not a movie crier, even if you go in and say, I'm not going to cry at this movie, I guarantee you will want to cry. It's so touching. And the franchise as a whole is so relatable.
Yeah.
We were all kids, and we all had our toys. So it's so relatable.
All right, so if you had to put it on a scale of 1 to 10, where would you put this one at?
I would give it a 9 because I don't think it's the perfect movie. It does have some of its own flaws, but I do think that it's just a really good summer popcorn movie. It's starting Disney off on a really good track for the summer because Aladdin wasn't so hot, so I think this is a really good place for Disney to start. And then we have Spider-Man Homecoming, then we have Lion King, then we have Maleficent,
and then Star Wars,
yeah. And that kind of like wraps up the year for Disney, but I think this is a really good launch point for Disney, and I really hope that there's a Toy Story 5. This is one franchise that I could see going for years.
Different directions. I know.
Yes, This movie splits off in so many places that you could pick up individual storylines from. Yeah. So I hope, not that I would love Toy Story to be Star Wars, but I would love, you know how Star Wars has like its main storyline and then like individual plots, like movies. I would love for that to happen with Toy Story, but I don't think that's gonna happen. Cool. What about you? Where would you place it?
So I'm gonna give it a solid 9.5. I would like to give it a 10, but giving it a 10 is saying a lot.
I don't think any movie can be perfect. I think giving a movie a 10 is hard.
This is one movie that I would consider giving it a 10, but I need to see it at least one more time.
We're going to go see it opening night again, and then we see it again the following day. So then we'll do our spoiler review when we have more notes and stuff like that.
When we do the spoiler review, I'll give you 110% concrete number, but as of right now, I'm giving it a 9.5.
Yeah. But it's definitely a movie to go watch. There is some things to be spoiled, so just be aware of that on social media after the movie comes out on Thursday.
Keep as dark as possible if you really care about
especially if
this.
you're really invested. Because it's heart shattering to see this thing happen, but I would be so mad if I saw it online first. So just go out and see it. It's a phenomenal movie, and it's worth your money. And it's only like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So it's not that long of a movie, which surprised me.
Then because it's a kids movie, they're actually releasing it a little bit earlier than they normally would do their 7:00 ones.
Yes. Yeah. So we're going to see it in 5:00 for the fan event, even though we already saw it, but.
No one needs to know.
Yeah. Thank you again to D23.
Yeah. Thank you.
We enjoyed it, and we hope to see more previews like that.
Yeah.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
All right. Thank you for listening to our review of Toy Story 4.
Have you spotted the non-Disney pop figure? It's a pop figure this week. If you have, leave it down below in the comments where it is.
Over here? Over there?
Somewhere.
I don't know.
And let us know what you think of the movie after you see it.
Yeah.
We'll be posting a spoiler review probably 2 or 3 days after the movie comes out, so this way you get some time to see it before we go on and spoil it for you. But
yeah.
So we hope you enjoyed. Yeah. Thank you for watching.
This has been Mickey and Minnie's Keys to the Kingdom.